Howdy and welcome back to our second video in this series of estate planning with Dan Snyder. In case you didn't see the first video, Dan helped us understand what did we talk about in that video?
We talked about estate planning, what the parts of it is, how you go about it, and who's going to help you do what, whether it's a lawyer helping you draft wills and powers of attorney, or whether it's your CPA helping you with tax matters.
Okay, great. And thanks again for doing this with us. I know a lot of people are going to benefit. So let's talk about long-term care, the person making the will or, designing the whole plan and their spouse.
Right. Long-term care is expensive. There's no two ways about it. And as a result, a lot of planning, both financial and legal, goes into ensuring that as a family, long-term care is provided for. We all end up in a situation potentially where we may need help with the cost of long-term care, and specifically we're talking about government help and Medicaid. And as a result of that, care needs to be given as to how you hold your assets. Medicaid can't, it's a false assumption to assume they can force you to sell your assets. They can't, but they can choose not to help pay for your care until you've used your own assets. And so as a result, the question is, what assets do you own? So typically, people who are concerned about this matter may consider using a trust, and those are commonly referred to as Medicaid trusts. The trust is set up, you transfer your assets into that trust, and as long as you meet the requirements of Medicaid, which at the moment is currently a 7-year look back, and then there's specific details in the trust that have to be there, then at the point in time you request help, those assets that are in that trust are not considered yours. So they won't be looking to you to dispose of those assets to pay for your own care. The assets in the trust can be continued to be used for your care, so it can still supplement, but it basically puts Medicaid in the position of paying first, and then you use your own assets to supplement that, rather than you using all of your own assets and then Medicaid picking up something at the end.
Yeah, and not necessarily all of it.
Correct. Right. So for families who have family farms or other assets that they're not going to want to sell because it may not be practical, or they want to keep the assets in the family, these sorts of tools like a Medicaid trust can be very helpful. The long-term care, you also can help plan financially, so whether it's your financial planner or your CPA, to pay for the costs, because you want to start planning that now. We've got 6 children, and all of them are legally adults, and I'm telling them that when we were their age, all we had to worry about was retirement. Now they've got to worry about retirement and healthcare issues, and you need to start planning for that as early as possible.
Right, especially if you want to retire early.
Exactly. Yep.
All right. Well, thanks again, Dan, for doing this with us and helping us better understand the importance of estate planning. Please watch our next video in this series, which will be on planning for a challenged dependent or a dependent in a high-risk job. And if you're in need of Dan's professional help, please call his office at 940-665-0738.